If you grew up with dogs in the 80s or 90s, or even if you just took a traditional obedience class recently, you learned to rely on noise. I'm going to take you on a walk through the forest with my dog Stitch and teach you exactly how it should be done. So yeah, we're really cutting straight to the core of communication today. And look, this isn't just about training drills, right? It's about actually swapping out those old reactive shock tactics.
Yeah, those startle tactics.
Exactly. For a system that's more proactive, built on, trust-based dialogue, we're looking at how to shift that relationship with your dog away from just reacting with stress and moving toward, well, genuine partnership.
And that shift, it's really, it's non-negotiable if you want a calm, confident dog, isn't it? I mean, we have to acknowledge, sure, the intention behind the sharp noise, was
Yeah.
maybe okay, just stopping a behavior quickly.
Right. Stop the jumping, stop the barking.
But we really have to look at the hidden cost. Every single time we use that kind of startling sound, we're essentially polluting the communication channel. We're adding stress, maybe even fear, and definitely emotional uncertainty.
Oh, that pollution. That was my bread and butter for years, honestly. I genuinely believed I was being, firm, consistent. Like I said, I was probably the king of the guttural.
Uh-huh.
I thought I was getting compliance. I really did. But the moment I started actually observing Stitch, really watching him closely, the whole picture it changed completely.
And what were those signs? The specific things you saw? Because often we miss them, right? We're so focused on stopping the bad behavior
Yeah, what we don't like.
that we don't see the stress we're causing.
Absolutely. And the signals, they were textbook stress signals. His ears would just plaster back against his head, Then the rapid lip licking would start. The constant averted eyes, looking away. His whole body posture would just lower, kind of slinking almost.
Yeah.
But the one that really got me, the one that showed the real damage, I think, was the fake scratch.
The displacement behavior.
Exactly. He wasn't itchy. He was just acting out this behavior to basically scream, "I'm stressed out, please stop." And that level of anxiety, I realized, meant he wasn't learning anything useful. He was just surviving my reaction.
And that gets right to the core psychological issue with that old method. It's dripping with judgment. When we bark no, or the message the dog gets isn't just stop. It's
You're bad.
precisely what you are doing is wrong. Or even you are a bad dog for chewing the sofa. And that kind of judgmental approach, well, that's what really poisons the well of the relationship.
And it doesn't just poison the relationship, it actually fails the dog, doesn't it? I mean, the huge flaw with no or is that it's only suppression. That's all it does.
Right. It stops the behavior for a second.
Yeah, you get like a temporary muzzle on the jumping or whatever, but you give the dog zero information, nothing about what they should do instead. So, okay, they stop the action, but then they just redirect that frustrated energy somewhere else, right? Maybe into stress panting
Or pacing, or spinning, or even chewing something else, like their own tail.
Yeah.
They have this need to do something, to engage. If we only squash the behavior, they stop, sure, but they haven't learned a better way.
Okay.
So we need something else. A method to interrupt, yes, but one that immediately pulls them into something highly positive, something really specific as an alternative. A cue that just doesn't carry that weight of disappointment. And that basically is the positive interrupter, the PI.
Okay, let's nail this down then. If it's not the old or no, well, what exactly is this positive interrupter? Give us the definition.
Right, so it's a completely new cue that you condition.
Yeah.
And it becomes, well, sacred is a good word for it. You have
Yeah.
to treat it with the same kind of reverence as your absolute best, most reliable recall cue.
Like coming back when called, no matter what.
Exactly that level of importance. But its purpose is very specific, very singular and clear. Stop whatever you are doing right now and immediately, joyfully, come find me. That's the message.
Okay, stop and come find me.
That makes sense. But I've tried, using just a word like enough before.
Yeah.
And it felt contaminated almost immediately. It's just too easy to let that irritation creep in, right? Enough. Enough.
That tone contamination is exactly why standard English words often fail here. The single most important thing when you're choosing your PIQ is this. It must be nearly impossible to say when you're feeling angry or judgmental.
So not just a word, but maybe something that sounds different, melodic, maybe even a bit nonsensical or silly.
Precisely. That's often the best route. It needs to be a sound that can cut through distractions, maybe better than something really subtle like a kissy sound, but it absolutely must stay inherently joyful in its delivery.
The cue only ever gets associated with amazing rewards and fun, positive engagement, never correction. So yeah, many trainers have great success with something melodic, maybe with rising and falling tones like Like, wit, 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 wit.
Chuckles lightly.
Yeah. Seriously, try saying wit, 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 wit when you're actually angry. It's it's really hard to do convincingly.
Okay, I can picture myself standing on the sidewalk yelling, wit, 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 like some kind of cartoon bird. Let's be real, though. Is it going to feel awkward? Making weird noises in public?
Oh, absolutely. At first, it probably will feel awkward, no doubt about it. But look, that's the trade-off you make to protect the absolute integrity of this cue.
Right.
Because if you choose a more common word, maybe like ready, or even something like leave it, you can make it work, but
Yeah.
but you have to make this solemn promise to yourself, like hand in the air swear,
Okay, I'm swearing.
that you will never use that word when you feel even a little bit stressed or angry or disappointed. If you honestly can't make that promise and be honest with yourself, then definitely choose the nonsense sound,
Got it. Choose the silly sound if you can't trust your tone.
because that cue has to be conditioned like a brand new trick from scratch, long before it ever gets used near a real-world distraction.
Right. We're building massive value here first. This isn't about hoping for compliance. It's creating this huge expectation of something wonderful happening, overwhelming joy, like you said. So, what are the actual steps? How do we train it? How do we install that sacred meaning?
Okay, preparation first. Step 1, get the absolute highest value rewards your dog can imagine. We're talking tiny bits of real chicken, cheese, hot dogs, whatever makes their eyes pop.
The dream treat.
The dream treats, exactly. Put them in a pouch, maybe one that's not super obvious. Then start in the dullest environment possible. Your kitchen, your living room, low distractions. And have your dog on a leash initially. Then the first actual training step is simple. Say your chosen cue. Let's stick with wit, 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 wit for now, and immediately drop one of those amazing treats right on the floor between their paws.
Just cue, then treat.
Cue, then treat. Repeat that simple exchange over and over until the very instant that sound leaves your mouth, your dog's head snaps towards you, or towards the floor where the treat appears, fully anticipating that reward.
Okay, that sounds straightforward enough. But you mentioned something about adding velocity excitement, making it more powerful. This is where we go beyond just the sound and condition the action of coming back to me, right?
Yes, this is the accelerator.
Yeah.
We use movement because, well, dogs are natural chasers, aren't they? They love to chase.
Yeah.
So this chase instinct adds massive, almost instant reinforcement value. Once they've got the basic sound-food connection down, you say the cue, wit, 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 and then this is the key part. You immediately turn and run away from your dog. Just a few steps is usually enough to start.
Ah, so you're turning the interruption itself into this sudden, irresistible game. Like, catch me if you can.
Right.
It reinforces the idea that coming to you is actually the best, most fun thing that could happen right then.
That's exactly it. It flips the script. The interruption becomes the start of the fun. And the moment they catch up to you, which they will, because they want that treat and the chase is fun, you reward them hugely. Hand them the treat, maybe toss a little jackpot of treats on the floor.
Okay.
And here's the crucial bit, the mandatory practice ratio.
Yeah.
This is what ensures the PI becomes more valuable than, say, chasing a squirrel. For the next 3 weeks minimum, 80% of your practice sessions must involve you running away and rewarding the chase.
80% running away.
80% running. Only 20% can be just standing still and rewarding.
Yeah.
This builds that huge drive, that automatic, joyful response to the cue.
Okay, 3 weeks. We've built massive value. We're running around like maniacs, rewarding like crazy, chanting, wit, 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 wit.
Wait,
But let's talk reality. You mentioned this 3-week probation period. What happens if my dog, I don't know, bolts towards traffic on day 2 of training? That's a genuine emergency. Do I have to use the PI then, even if it's not fully baked yet?
that is the essential. And yeah, the difficult question everyone needs to think about beforehand. And the answer is a bit nuanced, but it's critical. For a true life or death emergency like bolting into traffic, the answer is management first.
Meaning they shouldn't have been in that situation.
Ideally, yes, they shouldn't have been off leash or near that hazard without precautions before the PI is fully reliable. In that emergency moment, you grab the leash, you physically restrain them, you do whatever it takes physically. You must protect the PI cue.
So don't use it if it might fail.
Exactly. If you use it in that panic on day 2 and it fails, which it likely will, you've just taught the dog that the cue is optional sometimes. You've instantly contaminated the whole process you're trying to build.
Okay, so if I have to grab them, or even shout something else, maybe my old contaminated, hey, I do that, protect the new PI, and then I go right back to training the PI successfully in a safe, controlled setting. I'm basically committing to protecting the value of this new tool above all else.
That's the promise you make. Protect the cue. Once that probation period is over, then you start applying it, but carefully. Start with low stakes, desirable activities first.
Like what?
Think about interrupting a fun game of tug of war. When they're really into it, give the cue, wit, 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 wit. If they immediately drop the toy and whip around to come find you,
Jackpot.
huge reward.
Yeah.
Massive party. But if they hesitate or ignore you, what do?
Repeat the cue?
No, absolutely not. You just go limp. Stop pulling the toy. Stop talking. Just wait quietly. Maybe a gentle collar grab as a prompt if needed after a moment, but no verbal correction.
Ah, okay. The fun just stops.
The fun stops. The lesson becomes crystal clear. Here in the PI means stop the current fun. Something even better is about to happen over here with me.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. And this leads perfectly into something deeper you mentioned, this idea of preventing us from overusing the PI. You called it the thing before the thing. What's that about?
Yes, the thing before the thing. It's like the ultimate diagnostic tool for your training and management. See, the positive interrupter, it's designed to be an emergency brake, right? A one-off management tool for the unexpected.
Like the squirrel that dashes out or someone drops a piece of steak on the sidewalk.
Exactly, those sudden, unpredictable moments. But if you find yourself needing to use that emergency brake, say, 4 or 5 times every single day for the exact same behavior.
Like my dog chewing the corner of the sofa again. Or jumping on the counter again.
Precisely. If that's happening, you're not just managing emergencies anymore. You're actually, unintentionally, creating a problem.
How so?
You're creating a behavior chain. The dog learns. Step 1, I start chewing the sofa. Step 2, the human says the magic wit, wit, wit word. Step 3, I stop chewing and run to them. Step 4, I get treats and a fun running game.
Oh, wow. So I've accidentally rewarded them for starting the unwanted behavior in the first place?
You got it. You've made starting the bad behavior the cue for getting the reward.
Okay, that's a huge insight. So, if the PI becomes a regular thing for one specific recurring problem, it doesn't mean the PI failed. It means my setup, my environmental management is failing.
Exactly right. The PI isn't the failure. The recurring need for it points to the real issue. If it's constantly used for countersurfing, the thing before the thing isn't really the dog's desire for food. It's the fact that yummy stuff is left accessible on the counter.
Right. Manage the environment.
If it's constantly used for barking out the window, the thing before the thing is that the dog has unsupervised access to the window when triggers are likely. The PI is just the Band-Aid in those cases. Fixing the environment or the underlying training gap, that's the actual cure.
That really reframes the whole goal, doesn't it? The PI is this incredibly powerful safety net, maybe a management tool, but it's absolutely not a replacement for just good proactive management or consistent foundational training.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay, this has been incredibly helpful. Let's try and summarize the really critical action items here. For everyone listening who's ready to ditch the and implement this trust-based approach, what are the top 5 things they absolutely need to do starting today?
All right, top 5. Number 1, choose a melodic cue. Seriously, pick a phrase or a sound. The wit, wit, wit is a great example that is genuinely physically difficult to say when you're angry or disappointed. Protect that joyful tone above all else.
Number 2, use highest value rewards. Don't skimp here. Condition that new cue using the absolute best. Treats your dog dreams about the real chicken, the cheese, whatever it is. Build massive, instant, irresistible value from the very first session.
Number 3, harness movement with the 80-20 rule. This is key for building drive. Condition the cue mainly by immediately turning and running away when you say it. You must engage that love of the chase. Remember the ratio. 80% running practice, 20% standing still practice for those first few weeks.
Number 4, enforce the sacred probation period. This takes discipline. Do not use the cue to interrupt unwanted behavior for at least 3 weeks. Use management leashes, gates, supervision to keep your dog safe, and prevent rehearsals of the bad behavior while you focus only on building the PI's positive value. Protect its integrity.
And number 5, fix the underlying flaw, find the thing before the thing. Always remember the PI is for true, unpredictable emergencies or occasional management. If you find yourself using it regularly for the same behavior, stop. Take a step back. Analyze why it's happening and adjust your environment or address the underlying training deficiency. Don't let the PI become a crutch that rewards the problem behavior.
Brilliant. So ultimately, this whole shift, it really moves you beyond just trying to control the dog, doesn't it? It becomes about clear, positive communication. It's about establishing real trust. You're essentially giving your dog a crystal clear, highly rewarding, positive alternative action when they're faced with making an imperfect choice. And that fundamentally changes the whole dynamic of your relationship from just a command structure to, like we said, a genuine partnership.
Absolutely. And maybe just one final thought for everyone to chew on as they move forward with this. When you find yourself reacting to your dog's behavior with anger, or with that sharp, startling noise, or just general stress,
Wow.
what is that actually teaching your dog about you? About you as their partner, their guide? Real knowledge, the most valuable kind, is the knowledge that strengthens that bond, not just the kind that controls a momentary behavior.
That's a powerful place to end. Go pick that perfect, maybe slightly silly melodic sound. We really invite you to apply what you've learned today and start building that joyful, trust based foundation with your dog right now.